son. He's about 2 years old. Getting him to eat vegetables is not exactly his favorite thing. So I've learned a couple tricks on how to get him to eat vegetables. The main one is through soup. You can hide a lot of things in soup, and then my last ingredient kind of gets him to think that it's a type of a smoothie. So I'm going to walk you through a little recipe. You can use different ingredients, but here's how I do mine. The base of the soup will be squash and sweet potatoes and carrots. What we're going to intertwine with that is some spinach and peas and a little bit of roasted garlic. Now I've got him to eat soup. Now he's old enough to where I'll give it to him in a little bowl like this, and he finds it fun. It's super messy for him, but he enjoys it. Otherwise, when he was younger, I would put it in his bottle, warm it up a little bit, and then have him just drink it like a smoothie. You can water it down as much as possible, but it's a good way for him to get the liquids and the vegetables. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to preheat the oven to 400 degrees, and we're going to have these roast for about 45 minutes. I'm going to cut them in half, scrape out the seeds, and get those going. While those are roasting, I'm going to peel the sweet potatoes and chop these into cubes. Ingredients that you will need are cinnamon, a couple cans of chicken broth. You're also going to need a blender, bowl, roasting pan, cutting board, and then you're going to need 2 of these, okay, to make the soup. I tend to make very large batches just because I can freeze it easily, and it's much easier to make a large batch all at once. Okay, it's been 45 minutes, so we will take our squash out. While the sweet potatoes and the carrots are cooking, I put together half of the bag of spinach and about a quarter to half of the bag of peas, and I have it here in a bowl because we're going to blend that in later. So now that the squash is cooled, I'm going to scoop out the insides of the squash, and we're going to blend this in later. So we're going to take all 4 halves and scoop it into a bowl, and we're going to come back to this. Now I'm straining it into a bowl to where it's going to capture some of the water that's left, because we might need to use that later as we're making the mixture in the blender, okay? We want this to cool down, so we're going to let this cool for a little while here before we put it back. Okay, now for the messy part. Everything is still cooling, but we are going to take sections of it, put it into the blender, and kind of mix everything together. On each blender then we're going to pour it back into the pot, and kind of at the end we're just going to stir everything together. So first we're going to start with taking some big scoops of the sweet potato and carrots, and I combine them kind of together. You can do separately because they're all going to combine in the pot anyways. And then I'm going to take a squash. I scooped out the squash, put some in there, and then a little bit of that pea and spinach mixture, not too much. And I am not the cleanest person in the kitchen. I definitely make a mess. So I guess here we'll take some of the chicken broth, pour it in, and then, well, there's some room on top yet, so we'll add some more, and then blend. Obviously I need some more water. This is the leftover from the pan, or from the pot that we were boiling everything in. You're going to do this until everything is blended and put back in the pot. Okay, so here's that first batch. We're going to pour it in here, and then we're going to turn the heat on low. Yeah. And then we're going to start over with the next one. Okay, so here's the last one. My toddler has joined me, so you may hear him in the back. So we're going to pour this in, and it's okay that this is really, really thick, because that's where the secret ingredient comes in. Okay, I'm going to scrape this out, get as much of the good stuff as we can. Okay. I use a lot of cinnamon. I'm going to stir it up, and then just let this simmer for, well, just let it get warm. So probably about 5 minutes. Okay, as you've been stirring everything, this would also be the time where you can put in any salt and pepper if you want, your other spices. But now for the secret ingredient. So what I'm going to do, it's kind of thick right now, that's okay. Like I said, it's going to be kind of messy. So I'm going to put this into a drinking bottle for my toddler. And I'm actually going to use this as kind of a snack time right now. So put a little bit in. And the secret ingredient, you can use orange juice. This is actually pineapple orange juice. And put that in. This will also help thin it out, because it's got to be thin enough in order to get to the opening. I'm going to wipe that down and give it to him. So let's see how he does. So there you have it. Your secret ingredient is orange juice or any type of real fruit juice. Blend it together. They don't even taste the vegetables in it. What I would do with this now, I do half for him, and then I'll put in additional salt and pepper and garlic for my husband and I. And then we'll store it and we'll have it for a couple months. Hope you learned something, hope you enjoyed, and hope your toddler actually eats vegetables.